Hi, this is Witch Nikki, and the other day I was watching on YouTube how to do this finger knitting, and this is what I made. Ginger made several other things too, but she's wearing a few of them to school, like a little bracelet like this that she made for me. Then she turned around and taught her mom how to do it. So they were doing it all day yesterday, which is fine. So I thought I'd do a little one of my own. Because everybody does something different, right? So this is Witch Nikki does crafts or something. You can take any kind of yarn. The ladies in the videos that I saw were taking really thick yarn, but I only have this yarn. That's all I have to work with. And you can use any size that you want. And you need scissors, pretty much. That's about it. Now you can get fancy and make pom-poms at the end. I just kind of tied this together for right now. And you can loop it over and make a little scarf type thing, see? Or a little bracelet, make them small. And I'm sure we'll be thinking of other things to do with them. As we go along. Anyways, let's just get started. It's really, it's pretty easy, but I don't know if you'll be able to see me or not. So I'm going to try to work like this. And what you do is just, use one hand for your working hand to do the work, and you use your other hands, your other hand. Okay, you take your other hand to use as your loom or the knitting area. Okay, now it's gonna be hard. You take it like this if you're facing it, but like this, and you go in back. You can see how I've done in back. That's one thing that they didn't really show you, is what it looks like in the front and the back. So you leave a little bit strand here. You don't have to knot it or anything. So then after you go like this, you go in front of this finger, the middle finger, then in back of your ring finger, and forward, so it looks like this. You come around the pinky and you go back and forth like this again. Okay, now you see how each one has got a thread across it. This is what it looks like in the back. Okay, so you come around this finger again and you go over your middle finger and back of your ring finger and over your pinky. Then this is how it looks in the back. This is how it looks in the front. So you come back around your pinky, over, under, over. Okay, so you should have 2 strands on each finger. Okay, now I'm going to show you this part, and you can start with your pinky or you can start with your first finger. It doesn't matter, but try to keep it that way all the time. I don't know if that matters, but I would just stay with it so you remember which way you're going. So you kind of close, see how I've kind of closed that? That's because this thread just hangs behind you like this. It just hangs there, okay? So what you do now is you take the loop on the bottom and go up and over. The next one, up and over. Lift it right off, but leave the bottom one there. I mean, yeah, because, well, actually it's the top, because you're taking the bottom one, up and over. You'll feel it getting kind of loose in the back, but that's okay. Take this up and over. So now you just have the one strand on each finger. This is what it starts to look like here. Don't mess with this really, except you can pull it tight here and you can pull it tight here. Okay? Not real super tight, because you do have to pull up and lift it off the next time. So here's this string here. Now it should always start again here. You're going to go in back of your first finger, over, under, over and around, over, under, over, and there you go. There you got it. That's what it should look like now in the back. And see how my thumb kind of holds it into place here. Okay? And so, again, you take this little one, just take the bottom strand and take it over your finger, over that top one. See? I'm taking it out. And that's something kind of that they didn't really show that well. And here's what it looks like on the back. Okay? Well, I know that some of them will, what they do is pause and come back. But I have about 30 minutes. And let me do a little bit more. I know you probably get it, but I want to show you how it starts to look a little bit more like that. Okay? So your thumb kind of just holds on to stuff over here at this end and pull this thread a little taut. That means, you know, so that you're going to see it starting to grow back here. Okay, so here it is here. You're under the first finger, over the middle, under the ring, and over and around the pinky. Over the ring, under the middle, over the first one. Okay? So you have the two. And if it gets up a little bit to where it might just pop off, just slip it down a little bit, okay? Now, I was teaching this to Ginger, and she was watching it on YouTube also, and she picked up on it, boom, like that, really quickly. At first, she had a little bit of, like, discoordination with it, but she caught on to it. She's 8 years old, and she went like crazy making stuff yesterday. She also taught her mom, and her mom is left-handed, which is a little bit different, but it's kind of tricky too, because then her mom would put it on her right hand and use her left hand to do the work. See? So it could be done with either hand. Also, Ginger and I both learned that sometimes you have to let go of this, go use the restroom or go somewhere or do something that you can't just hold this on, carry around the ball. But you can do this anywhere, because in public, some places don't allow knitting needles or crochet hooks and stuff like that. So you take a ball of yarn, and before you know it, you got one of these. You could just make one and boom, give it to somebody. Like, they'll be like, wow, look at that. That's amazing. Yeah, you like that? It goes pretty quickly, but it is time consuming, but it's also fun. So here we have this. This is what it kind of looks like there. And don't worry that it looks kind of sloppy-ish here, because it's going to straighten up and we're going to get more. So once again, in this position, it's kind of hard. could see it from this way. Lift up the bottom one and just take it off and put it back there. Lift up this one, put it back. Lift up this one, put it back. Lift up this one and put it back. Okay, you give a little tug here and you're going to start to see it forming pretty soon. And pull it a little bit tight there too. Okay, so here we go again. One strand, so we're going to go over the middle, under the ring, over and around the pinky, over the ring, under the middle, over. Like I said before, so each of them on your palm side, this is the palm side, this is the back side, I would say. The back of your hand and the palm of your hand, okay? So that each one of them has this, and you go up and over, up and over, up and over, up and over. Okay? Pull and tug on both ends. Okay? Now, it's just repeat. And up and over, up and over. You could see it from that side just as well. Up and over. I'll show you both sides. Because those ladies that did it, they did it well. But they only showed like really one side. They kind of showed it a little bit, but they didn't show you working with both ends. Now, here we go. See, it's starting to make that form. See? You know, you could just keep this here, or just let it hang down the back, and then it's going to start traveling with you. But I like to kind of keep it up where I'm working. Okay. Now see if I could get a little bit going a little bit faster, because we've only done about 12 minutes. But it can go pretty fast. So I'm just going to do this now, and then I'll slow down and do it again for those of you who might want to see it again. So you're starting right here with this finger, except you're kind of ignoring it, because they all got one. Over, under, over, around, under, ta-da. Hold on to it. Lift, lift, lift and over, lift and over. Again, pull, pull. You could probably go faster if you wanted to. Once you pick it up and get going, it just goes faster and faster. But always make sure you're kind of going in the same pattern, you know. And that you're paying attention to what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to get some odd looking stuff in the back here. See? That's all you do. Each time, lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up, and over. Ginger likes to give a little tuck on it every once in a while, just a little tuck and pull. That kind of holds it down and keeps it kind of taut, so it gets a good little weave, or whatever you want to call this. It's called finger knitting. If you want to watch, excuse me, if you want to watch somebody else do it, that's fine. Because I watch them. And I'll go back later on when I have time, and I'll put down their links and stuff. So you could go and watch them. I don't know who invented doing this, but it's quite fun and very easy. And it entertained Ginger all day yesterday. She was just fascinated by this. I can see that I'm going to have to buy some more yarn because she went through some of mine. My little odds and ends. So that's what it's for, really. That's what I save it for, to do whatever I want to with it. And as long as she's learned something new and interesting, this might develop into other kind of knitting or other kind of crocheting. Now there is finger crocheting also, but I need to get a little bit thicker thread for that yarn, wool, whatever you call it. I found that some of the women in the UK call it wool, although it's not wool. Most of it's acrylic, maybe some cotton, I don't know, but it's not wool. But that's what they call this, is wool. And that's fine, but I'm just, in America, it's usually called yarn. I have missed our story time, but as you could see, I've been very busy making other things besides this and doing this. I've been making other little projects and stuff, and keeping busy doing other things, because sometimes it's not like I can't stay focused on something, but it just kind of like, if I'm not feeling well, or if I'm not in a happy space at that moment, it's really hard for me to read happy little stories all the time. And let's see. Oh, yeah. See, you could talk while you're doing this. Sometimes if you make the loop too tight, it's hard to pull it up and off. See? And this is almost the length that you could do like a wraparound little thing for a wristband type of a thing. Or just keep going and going and going and going until you get something like this. Which is interesting little. I guess it could be like little belts for some kids. Ginger wore hers. She made little pom-poms on it. Anyways, and she wore it to school today with her vest that I made for her. This is very fun, easy, quick. It goes very good, you know, very fast. And all you just have to remember is the right directions and everything. So it's like coming up from your first finger, over the middle, under the ring, around the pinky, over the ring, under the middle, and over. Ta-da! And I think you get it by now. You can watch it over and over again until it's really something easy that you can do. You pull it on both sides. Hold it with your finger, your thumb. See? There we go. Another thing that I made with this is a butterfly. That was really pretty. You can circle it around like this, and then you take it to the middle, like right here, and you make these two loops, and then you do another one a little bit smaller, and you do another loop on it, and then I have mine, hold on. Well, I forgot that I have it kind of wrapped up because I'm giving it to my other daughter. Now, like I said, Ginger and I had to learn about taking these off. So what you want to do is you want to have one that represents your first finger, a pin, and something else. Because you just want to try to remember which fingers you put it onto. So this green one will be represent my first finger. This is something they didn't show you. They just expected that you would finish this whole craft and not need to go to the bathroom. Well, or go somewhere suddenly. So this one, my first finger, okay? And what I'm going to do is just lift it off and put it on this one. See? Now, it doesn't really matter too much about the two middle ones, because once you know which one, the green one is your first finger. The green one is your first finger. Okay, and what I've done here is slip this pencil up here and this other one right here. And this red one is going to be for my pinky. So then, and then you just slip them off. You slip your fingers out. See? Then you can just place it down. And remember that the green one is pointer. And the red one is pinky. Okay? Then, what you do, because none of them, like I said, none of them showed you this method. Ginger and I figured it out because we were doing this and she was making it and going on, and then we got a message that her mom needed to be picked up from work because her shift was over. And so what you do is put your finger back in to where the green one is, the first finger. The next one, it's kind of tricky. You might need someone to help you with it. But I've kind of got it to where I've been able to do it myself. Okay, take out, and you can see how I'm doing that. Okay, put those down, put them back over, put this one over here. Wait, get off. Don't worry, it looks like I'm getting tangled, but I'm not. Just looks that way. This should be hanging down like this. This should be right here by your first finger. And then you can just carry on back to what you were doing. Over, 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 and over. Pull down that. Pull this a little bit. Not too much. Like I said, the tighter it is around your fingers should be able to move, so you could lift it off easier. If you're struggling, it's too tight, and your fingers can get uncomfortable. You don't want to make it too uncomfortable. Now, here's the part where it gets a little bit tricky. But I've had one lady said to take this finger over this one to take it off completely when you're done. Take this over here, and then this one over here, and then this one over here. That gets a little bit tricky. So what I did was, sorry, got a phone call in the middle. So what I did was cut just enough to go through this procedure. Now, do you see how this string is right through here? What you do is put it through and lift it up. Okay. And you're going to, what I do is tuck this in and up and lift it up. And you go through and kind of just thread them all on to the thread now, to this. See? Like this. And take it off. Take them off. And you're going to have something that kind of looks like this. And pull it. And then you want to go around your finger there. Get the very tip of it. And tie it kind of in a knot so that and it's really tight. You can clip this off later if you want to, when you figure out what you're going to do with this. Now, I wish that I had a piece of wire like this one lady had. Hold on a moment. Let me go get something. Okay, this is very thin wire that I use sometimes for my beading and jewelry. It is the Beadsmith craft wire, tarnish resistant, and its gauge is 24. Okay, so it's thin and it's bendy, so it just kind of stays there like that. Now, I need a little bit to go right through what I'm working on there. So I'm going to, I don't like using scissors for snipping wire, but it works with this kind of gauge, but if it was thicker, I would not use that. So what you're going to do now, because I have something else to do today, so I'm going to get this done really, really quick, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to make. You're going to go take one end, it doesn't matter which one, and you work the wire through. Just work it through here. And it should go right through, but you want it kind of hidden. So you're just pushing it right through the middle-ish part and then sliding this up onto it. And you want to try to hide it. That's why I picked a wire that was pretty thin. It would be nice if you had some wires at the craft store are like covered with plastic, and they're also bendable like this. Very easy to use, and they come in colors. So that's really cool because you can hide them inside here. You could pick a color that matches the yarn. So now, see, I've done that very easily, and I don't know if you could see it. You can see the wire through it. It's okay. It's not gonna, you know, nobody's going to arrest you for showing wire through, for goodness sakes. Okay, then you take these two and you kind of, what I do is I twist one over this way and one over this way, so you got that. Okay, then I take the end and wrap it around. This is very similar to the wire that they have inside pipe cleaners. See how it's wound like that? But it's without the little fuzzy stuff all over it. But it's still pretty much the same kind or thickness. And then you could use pipe cleaners too. So you see this is going to have this, and you want to kind of twist these. There you go. They're not going anywhere. Then bring this all down and kind of cover it. You can cover it up later with these two here. I still got the ends on them. So what we're going to do now, bring these up, these ends, and tie them together. Tie them. And then you could wrap the end around and around. And just, you know, leave a little bit that you could, because we're going to need it. You wrap it around the ends, the end parts of the wire that you have there. See, sort of like that. And then we want to have enough left over here to knot it. And again, and you could just leave it in a circle if you want. You can use green and make a wreath. That would be cute. Okay, tie it as much as you can like that. See, and then Wouldn't that be a cute wreath? Green or any color that you like to make a wreath with if you want to make something else with it, but it's covered. And what she did was, might like to take this and wrap it around again and just tie it at a point. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. See? So I've wrapped it around and then kind of tie it tight like this. So you're going to have a good little point. Okay. And then you go up like this and kind of, oops, it's kind of getting loose because I didn't tie it that. I didn't tie it in a knot. So here, let me do it in a knot. I'm actually almost done here. So, okay. Then you just kind of fix it so that the wire isn't showing that much, but this is just for an example. Then you go up to the top and you kind of poke it down the point, so you got it like this, heart shape. Pinch it in the middle, and ta-da! Isn't that adorable? Wait till I show Ginger to make this. She's gonna go nuts. I could see myself now getting pink and whites and reds, and she's going to probably make some of these for her friends at school. And then you can do any little thing that you want to with it. You can use pipe cleaners in there. I would see that that would look cuter because it would just go right through. And any other way that you want to fix it up, you could take another little piece of string here and tie it around this top part to kind of keep it into place. Because I saw that the wire wanted to kind of poke through. So you might want to do this and, just tighten it in the little places that you want to keep it from sliding around or whatever. But this is basically what you do. So, there we go. It needs some working and adjustments. Figure it out. If not, ask me. This is the first time that I made a heart. I did see the lady make it. And you can make the butterflies the same way or without the wire. You don't need the wire. See, so it's kind of poking through because the wire is so thin. But if you get a pipe cleaner, which I didn't have at this moment, you could work it through. It'll probably stick a little bit better because of the little fuzziness on there. Well, my video is going to stop. So I love you. See you next time.